The bounty hunters. It takes seconds for the other drones to open fire through the walls and floors of the facility. Only the fact that they're not trying to outright destroy this place gives the men room to dodge the initial barrage of plasma lances. My plans will have to be accelerated, Iva states over the comm network. I must thank you for activating my backup and letting me know that the organic variant had expired. Regardless, our plans move forward and the collective wince as the static-filled speech turns into mechanical screaming and feedback. It's not enough to get in the way of advancing on the mining drones, but it is noticeable. So the chamber set off a digitized copy of Iva's mind. Interesting, Pukey muses. Bike. Sir, get on the horn with the chainbreaker. Tell Litha that she needs to work against a digitized copy of our mad cloner. Destruction preferred, detainment if she can't. He orders even as he dodges away from another lance of plasma. Whatever hit the speaker system and cut off the rant did nothing to impede the cohesion and attacking ability of the mining drones. The sounds of numerous plasma rifles firing off lets Pukey know that his men's charge is getting things done. Target down, J3 calls out. Little lady, things are getting 10 kinds of crazy. We need to get you and your family out of here, Pukey says over his shoulder. A mining drone zips in from an open door and in a single movement he lines up the site and destroys the central processing unit of the machine before melting to the side to dodge the comparatively slower plasma. The whole time moving backwards to do so, that too stays on his back unharmed. Target down, Pukey calls out as the drone hits the floor. Hostile neutralized, Tang shouts. Target down, the hat lets everyone know. They're falling back, Mr. T exclaims. Target down. Requesting permission to spoil obvious trap? Negative. We stick together. Everyone form up on me. We're not letting some megalomaniacal idiot split us up. Pukey demise, and in just a few heartbeats his entire team is around him. Little lady, where do we go to get 1 and Prime out of here safely? 2 wordlessly points the way, completely at a loss for words and just gripping onto him as hard as she can. Thank you, and please, calm yourself. This may be scary, but we're good at dealing with scary and we're going to get you and your family out. No one leaves, no one escapes. The physical, technological, and axiomatical levels of reality will be merged together and all 3 shall be ruled over by a singular entity. Eva, or perhaps her copy, screams out, I am the technical. I am the God in the machine. I shall merge with Prime to become God of technology and axiom. We shall then take you apex trets and meld you into a singular entity. There will be perfection. There will be order. There will be ascension. There will be high-end copy degradation and file corruption during the transfer process. Jesus, going digital, sent the woman so far around the bend she's in orbit. Bike replies, I am not insane. Could madness conceive of such brilliance? It's not brilliance. It's batshit bonkers, Bike protests. Even if you have the highest end equipment, going from an organic body to a synthetic one causes enormous strain on the psyche. It's why synthetic conversions and downloads are into similar or matching bodies. Do you think me so weak as 2? One of the drones returning protests and is shot halfway through its monologue. Yes, Pukey replies. Little lady, time to go. Slip corridor 5 Prime. Slip corridor 5. 2 calls out, and in front of the group space itself collapses in on itself and reveals a room beyond it. They charge through. 2, what are you doing? 1 demands in shock as she tries to block a doorway. She has a large laser rifle, but her small size stop her from even lifting it properly. It's so large on her it looks like she's trying to hip-fire a pop gun. We can't stop them. Things are going crazy, and if we go with them, then maybe things won't be as bad. They say they don't want to hurt us, and, well, we can't really stop them. So if we stop fighting, they'll make things easier, won't they? It's a hell of a day when I'm satisfied in being the lesser of two evils. Pukey notes as he walks up to one and kneels down. Young one, I'm not here to be your enemy. I'm here to free you. If I can leave this station without destroying or killing anything more, I'll be happy. One begins and what sounds like a guitar chord sounds out. That came from Prime. She runs off to check on him and two slips off Pukey's back to follow. He follows them both at a respectful distance with his team slowly breaking off to form a guarded area in the room behind them. Iva doesn't seem to have access here for some reason. Dead center in the next chamber is a single platform, held up from above and below by tendrils that thrum with axiom so much that, even while deliberately ignoring the sense, Pukey can feel them outright buzzing through his being, as if his bones were hooked up to guitar strings and they were being gently plucked. The guitar sound goes off again. It's joined by several others, an entire range at first, then several together. Multiple disruptions in the air to produce the sound as whatever Prime has been turned into is trying to talk. He reaches the pedestal and looks down to see a pitch-black sphere, like a gigantic, flawless pearl from some kind of pirate's hoard. Pukey does not miss the fact that the black pearl is the exact same size and shape of a cobra egg. The guitar-like sound goes through a frantic series of notes. There's nothing musical about it. The sheer discord of it nearly has Pukey wince. Are you trying to talk? 1 tone for yes, 2 for no. A single guitar chord blasts through the air. Okay then, we don't have time for 20 questions here and now, so I'll stick to the important details. Do you want out of here? 1 for yes, 2 for no. A single tone answers. Are you what was once Ivan Grace? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Pukey asks, and he gets a single note. Ivan, do you remember yourself? 1 for yes, 2 for no. A single clear note rings out. Then 2 short notes follow. Yes and no. That makes things complicated, but it's one that can be dealt with later. Prime, why are you doing this? What's happening? One asks, and there's an entire medley of chords that sounds out as Prime tries and fails to speak. He's trying to talk by manipulating the environment, something that would take years to master. That's why I'm doing 1 yes, 2 no method. It's faster, Pukey remarks. There's a blast in the distance. You don't want what Iva's trying to force on you at all, do you? 2 notes ring out in response. Is it safe to move you? 2 notes. Can it be made safe to move you? Pukey asks the somehow immensely powerful and yet unborn Cobe. A single note answers him. Is it something I can do myself? 1 note, then 2 notes. There's another crash in the distance and Pukey looks back to see his team already has a defensive formation in the room, ready for anything. Is what I need to help you in this room? The answer of a single note makes him smile. Excellent. 2 and 1 are having a whispered conversation that isn't as subtle as they think it is as Pukey regards the pitch-black egg. Normally, transporting a Kobe egg is fairly safe. Their shells are outright elastic and very, very tough unless pierced from the inside by the egg claws of the infant. A way to safely carry them from shelter to shelter that evolved early in the development of the species. But Pukey had never even heard of someone being regenerated all the way back to an in utero state before. This was an entirely unknown situation. Now, is what you need a tool? Pukey asks, and 2 tones ring out. No. You made a lot of copies of my puppet. Don't think I didn't notice. Your only sample to make all that mess ahead of time was with my puppet, meaning you tried copying me. You need a sample, don't you? 1 tone sounds out. Wait, you're doing what? 2 asks, poking her head above the pedestal to regard Prime. There's an entire guitar solo worth of notes that shoot through the air. Try to stick to yes or no questions. He has a hard time answering anything else, Pukey remarks. Do you hate us? 2 asks, and one looks over the pedestal as well. 2 notes ring out. Then it's followed by a single note. "Oh boy." Pukey notes, and as the expressions of pain start to sweep over 1 and 2's faces, he sighs. Can we save the family drama for when we're not about to be sieged out by some degraded copy of the only person who's actually acted with malice in all this? There's a pause before a single note rings out, which is then punctuated by the blasting of plasma as the siege proper begins. Pukey disengages the locks around his right gauntlet. "We're officially out of time. You try anything crazy with my DNA and I will personally take you out. Understand?" A single note rings out and Pukey reaches down and touches the black pearl-like egg with his uncovered hand. The axiom in the area shifts and compresses before moving like a beast to compress into the egg, which quickly hatches. A torrent of blood and embryotic fluid gushes out of the cracks as a tiny hand grabs onto Pukey's finger as the tendrils wither and die both above and below. The heart, somehow both around them and away from them entirely, beats frantically before seeming to die, and in the distance there are brutal crashes and crunching noises. The whole time the infant is expanding and developing as Ivan grabs onto Pukey's arm and grows and grows and grows. Moments later, the child man collapses against Pukey and takes his first breath, sucking in air and gasping heavily and slowly standing up. He's short on a human scale, but massive for a Kobe. "Blay, I can talk. I can talk again." "Ivan Grace of the Richley Measley?" Pukey asks, and Ivan smiles at him. "It's pronounced my slee, not my sly, but yes. Thank you. Thank you for helping me," Ivan says, taking a step back. "Never been this tall before." "You'll get used to it. Are you good to run? We need to evac and then blow this place into the planet or star." "Running, yes, I was just about to ask for that. You won't need to blow it, though. I've set this place to collapse like a black hole. We have 2 hours to escape." "Good to know. Young ladies, you 2 are coming with us whether you like it or not at this point. I'm not leaving behind civilians to die," Pukey says, and there are wordless nods. "I hope you have some recording devices available when we leave. Something trashed most of the main computers here and most of the files are lost." Ivan states and Pukey pauses. "We'll discuss that later. For now we're getting out. Follow me," Pukey says, and he starts leaving the room quickly. Ivan takes up a loping gait to keep pace, and both 1 and 2 scramble to keep up. "Boys, this station has less than 2 hours to live, meaning we're out of here in the next 15 minutes. We're punching through the enemy forces, civilians safe in the middle, and we're not stopping until we're back on the chain breaker. Any questions?" "Sir." "No, sir." The men shout, and instantly both Mr. T and the Hat are at the door and filling the room beyond with bullets and forcing things back. Air Farce and Dong, followed by Itchy and Mustard, come next. Ivan, 1 and 2 are all but pushed through next as J3, and Tang follow them out with Bike and Pukey as rear guard. They shatter the drones on their charge through, and Iva's gotten her electronic tendrils into the control system of the doors and airlocks. Unfortunately for her, the boys have plasma and don't give a shit about the structural integrity of a place they're leaving to never coming back to. 10 shattered drones, 4 burned through walls and a locked door that provides as much resistance as a piece of paper, and they're racing for the shuttle on the landing pad. Anti-asteroid measures start to warm up only for grenades to land at their bases, courtesy of Pukey and Bike as everyone else rushes into the shuttle. A couple final mining drones fly out at them as the door closes and Airfar starts working his magic. He holds still just barely long enough for the 2 rear guard to reduce the drones to scrap before they're off and towards safety. Then they start dodging the anti-asteroid defenses of the mining base, but the chainbreaker is ready and slags the weapon emplacements of the mining colony. "Okay, now, where can I get a shower and some pants?" Ivan asks, once the enemy fire stops. "I was trying not to think about your nudity," the Hat says. So was I. Ivan agrees.